Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare states $quarter coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating quarters ever released in the United States, the Vermont State Quarter from 2001. Now, at first glance, it may seem like just another coin from your pocket change, but stay tuned, because you'll quickly see that this unassuming piece of metal might just be worth far more than you could ever imagine. Before you toss it into a coin jar or spend it on a morning coffee, let's take a closer look at what makes the 2001 Vermont Quarter so special, so rare, that it's become a hidden gem in the world of numismatics. And yes, by the end of this video, we'll reveal the unbelievable amount one of these coins was sold for, so stick around, because you won't want to miss that. Let's start with a little history. In the year 2001, the U.S. Mint released the Vermont Quarter as part of the iconic 50-state quarters program. Vermont was the 14th state to join the Union, and this coin pays tribute to its rich heritage, rugged beauty, and fierce independence. But this wasn't just any state quarter. The Vermont design quickly stood out among collectors for its intricate detail and meaningful symbolism. On the reverse of the coin, you'll see Camel's Hump Mountain, one of Vermont's most famous natural landmarks, framed by two majestic maple trees. And look closely, what do you see? That's right, a person tapping the trees for maple syrup, one of Vermont's oldest and proudest traditions. It's a beautiful tribute to the state's natural resources and agricultural roots, showing just how much meaning can be packed into a small circle of metal. Now, let's talk about rarity, and this is where things get really interesting. Most of the Vermont quarters were minted in Philadelphia and Denver, and while millions were produced, not all quarters are created equal. You see, among the masses of standard coins, there are a few that came out of the mint with unusual errors, flaws that weren't caught in time, and that's where the magic begins for collectors. These error coins, also known as mint errors, are incredibly valuable because they're so rare. Some Vermont quarters were struck off-center. Others show doubling in the letters or features, known as double die errors, where the coin design appears slightly duplicated, like a shadow. There are even reports of quarters with die cracks, where the coin shows raised lines from a damaged minting die. Each of these errors makes the coin unique. No two are exactly alike, and that's the kind of thing collectors dream about. Now imagine holding in your hand a coin with a flawless strike error, in uncirculated, mint condition, with luster still shimmering across the surface. It's like owning a one-of-a-kind artwork, created entirely by accident, an artwork that's legal tender and holds a story from American history. What's even more exciting is that these rare errors sometimes go unnoticed. They're mixed into circulation, sitting in drawers, forgotten in change jars, or waiting in old coin rolls, just waiting to be discovered. So next time you get a Vermont quarter, take a moment. Flip it over. Look closely. What seems ordinary could be extraordinary. Collectors around the world are constantly searching for these coins, not just for their beauty and design, but for the thrill of the hunt. It's not just about money, it's about passion, history, and the mystery of what might be hiding in plain sight. Every coin has a journey. Every scratch, every mark tells a story. And in rare cases, one of those stories turns out to be priceless. So, just how valuable can a 2001 Vermont quarter really be? Well, while the average coin might only be worth 25 cents, some of these rare error versions, especially those in perfect condition with dramatic minting mistakes, have been known to fetch up to $56,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that right. $56,000. For a single quarter. So next time you're sorting through your change or going through an old coin collection from a family member, keep your eyes open. That simple Vermont quarter could be a life-changing find. Top 2, we're taking a close look at a coin that might just look like an ordinary quarter, but could be worth a small fortune if you're lucky enough to find the right one. I'm talking about the 2005 United States West Virginia quarter dollar, and believe me, there's a lot more to this coin than meets the eye. So grab your magnifying glass and settle in, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and why some versions of this very coin have collectors absolutely buzzing. You won't believe how much this small piece of metal could be worth, and yes, we'll reveal the stunning amount right at the end. Let's rewind a bit to the year 2005. This was when the U.S. Mint released the West Virginia State Quarter as part of the hugely popular 50 State Quarters program. Every coin in this series was designed to represent a specific state's unique history, culture, or natural beauty, and West Virginia's coin is no exception. The reverse side of the West Virginia Quarter features a breathtaking image of the New River Gorge Bridge, one of the most iconic engineering marvels in the country. Spanning the deep gorge of the New River, this bridge is one of the highest and longest steel arch bridges in the world. The design captures not only the state's natural beauty, but also its spirit of innovation and resilience. Above the bridge, the words, New River Gorge, are etched into history, with the date of West Virginia's statehood, 1863, serving as a proud reminder of the state's role in American history. The front of the coin, like all quarters of the time, features the familiar portrait of George Washington. But it's what you can't see at first glance that makes this coin truly special. Now here's where things get interesting. Not every 2005 West Virginia quarter is valuable. In fact, the vast majority are only worth their face value, 25 cents. But, a very small number were struck with rare minting errors or unusual defects that can make them incredibly valuable to collectors. Let's talk about those errors. Point 1 of the most sought-after varieties is what collectors call the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck more than once with a slightly misaligned die, creating a shadowed or doubled appearance, usually in the letters, numbers, or even in the design of the bridge. If you ever come across a West Virginia quarter where the text looks slightly blurred or duplicated, don't ignore it. That could be a true gem. Then there are the off-center strikes, where the coin was misaligned during minting. These are easy to spot because part of the design looks like it's sliding off the coin's surface. The more dramatic the error, the more valuable it becomes. Add to that the die cracks, planchet errors, and even clipped planchets, where a piece of the coin is literally missing, and you've got a whole world of rare varieties that collectors are constantly searching for. Now combine one of these rare errors with a coin in pristine, uncirculated condition. We're talking sharp edges, bright luster, and zero wear, and you've got something truly special. Coins like this don't just interest hobbyists, they create bidding wars at auctions. Here's the thing, most of these rare West Virginia quarters are still out there. Some are sitting in old change jars. Others are mixed in rolls of quarters at banks or left untouched in coin albums passed down from grandparents. People walk by them every day, unaware of the fortune they're holding, and that's what makes coin collecting so exciting. It's not just about the money, it's about the history, the mystery, the thrill of discovery. Each quarter tells a story, and every now and then, that story comes with an incredible twist. So now the question you've been waiting for, just how much could a 2005 West Virginia quarter really be worth if it has the right combination of rarity, condition, and error? Well, in a stunning case that shook the collectors community, one of these rare quarters sold for an incredible $51,000. Yes, you heard that right, $51,000. For a single quarter. That's the kind of discovery that changes everything. That's why collectors keep hunting. That's why you should check your change, your drawers, your old coin jars, because you never know what might be hiding right under your nose. Top 3, we're diving deep into a very special coin that might be hiding in your pocket change right now, the 2004 Wisconsin State Quarter. This coin may seem ordinary at first glance. But trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be checking your coin jars, old wallets, and maybe even your couch cushions for this hidden gem. There's a rare version of this coin that has stunned collectors and shocked the coin collecting world, and if you have it, it could change your life. Let's roll back the clock to 2004. That year, the United States Mint released a beautiful series of quarters as part of the 50 State Quarters program. It was Wisconsin's turn to shine, and the design they chose was a proud tribute to the state's agricultural roots. On the reverse side of the coin, we see a dairy cow, a round of cheese, and a cornstalk, symbols of Wisconsin's farming heritage and dairy pride. A simple, classic design, or so it seemed, but not all coins minted that year were created equal. Somewhere during production, something unexpected happened, a minting anomaly so small it might go unnoticed by the average person, but to a trained eye, it's everything. Here's where things get really interesting. Among the millions of Wisconsin quarters produced, a small number were found to have a strange extra leaf on the corn stalk. That's right, a tiny extra leaf. In fact, two variations have been discovered, one with a low leaf and one with a high leaf. These are not part of the original design, they're unintentional, most likely caused by a die gouge or accidental re-engraving at the mint. Now, in the world of coin collecting, these are known as error coins, and they are like gold to serious collectors. Why? Because error coins are incredibly rare. The US Mint is meticulous about quality control, so mistakes like these hardly ever make it into circulation. When they do, and people find them, the value can skyrocket. Only a limited number of these Wisconsin quarters with the extra leaf error were minted before the issue was discovered, which makes them ultra-rare. Most people who spent these coins had no idea they were passing along a miniature fortune, and that's why collectors go wild for them. This isn't just about the coin itself, it's about the story behind it. A humble quarter, meant to celebrate a state's farming roots, ends up with a mysterious error that turns it into a collector's dream. It's like finding a four-leaf clover on your morning walk, rare, beautiful, and full of luck. Imagine this, you're sorting through your spare change, and you spot the Wisconsin quarter. You flip it over, and there it is, the extra leaf. Maybe it's the low leaf tucked under the corn, or the high leaf jutting out above. You look again. You compare it online. Your heart starts racing. Could it be? Collectors across the country have been hunting for these coins for years. Coin dealers, hobbyists, even treasure hunters have made it their mission to track down the elusive error. Because if you find one in the right condition, especially uncirculated or in mint state, the value could be absolutely staggering. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. How much could this little coin, this 25-cent piece from 2004, really be worth? Are you ready? Some rare versions of the 2004 Wisconsin state quarter with the extra leaf error have sold for as much as $53,000. Yes, you heard that right. $53,000. From a single quarter. So go ahead, check your coin jars, dig through your old collections, and take a closer look at those Wisconsin quarters. You never know what hidden treasure might be waiting in your hands. Top 4, we're going on a journey through history, art, and mystery, all packed into one tiny but powerful piece of metal, the 2002 Louisiana State Quarter. At first glance, it looks like just another quarter from the U.S. Mint's 50 state quarters program. But don't let its size or appearance fool you, because some versions of this coin are anything but ordinary. In fact, one rare type of this coin has stunned collectors and fetched jaw-dropping prices on the market. So if you've got an old quarter stash, you'll want to listen very closely. This coin could be a hidden jackpot. Let's start with the story behind it. In 2002, as part of the ongoing series to honor all 50 states, the U.S. Mint released the Louisiana State Quarter. This coin pays tribute to one of America's most unique and culturally rich states. The design on the reverse side is full of historical meaning. It features the image of the Louisiana Purchase, a key moment in U.S. history when the country doubled in size with a single agreement. You'll also see a pelican, Louisiana's state bird, and musical notes floating across the design, celebrating the state's deep roots in jazz, soul, and rhythm. This quarter is a beautiful snapshot of Louisiana's vibrant identity, music, history, and natural beauty all in one. Now, while millions of these quarters were struck and circulated, not all Louisiana quarters are the same. Among the many produced, a few extremely rare error versions made it past the mint's careful eyes, and these coins are what collectors dream about. So what kind of errors are we talking about? Some of the most valuable Louisiana quarters have striking anomalies, die breaks, misalignments, or double dies, rare minting mistakes that can transform a 25-cent piece into a treasure worth thousands. One particular version shows a dramatic doubling in the lettering or musical notes, while others might have off-center strikes or even partial missing elements. These are the kinds of details that trained collectors notice immediately, and they're exactly what skyrockets a coin's value. But what makes these coins truly exciting isn't just the mistake, it's the rarity. The U.S. Mint has incredibly tight quality control, so very few of these flawed coins ever leave the facility. When one does, it becomes a modern-day treasure hunt. Most people spend these coins without a second thought, having no idea that they might be handing over a fortune in change. That's where collectors step in. The thrill of discovering one of these rare coins, in a coin roll, an old drawer, or even from a store's cash register, is something that keeps the numismatic community buzzing. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, but that needle is made of silver and history and can buy you a brand new car. And here's the best part, you don't have to be an expert to find one. All it takes is curiosity, a sharp eye, and maybe a magnifying glass. Look closely at the details. Are there signs of doubling in the words? Are parts of the design missing, misaligned, or oddly shaped? You might just be holding a coin that could change your day, or your life. Now, let's talk about value. How much could one of these rare 2002 Louisiana quarters actually be worth? Let me paint you a picture. You're sorting through your change one day. You notice something odd about a Louisiana quarter. Maybe it's a strange doubling in the letters or a misaligned strike. You do a little research. You compare it with pictures online. And then you see the jaw-dropping auction results, because one of these rare Louisiana state quarters, with the right error and in excellent condition, has sold for as much as $55,000. Yes, you heard that right. $55,000, for one quarter. So the next time you get change back from the store, take a second look. That little coin from Louisiana might just be more than 25 cents. It could be a piece of American history, a collector's dream, and maybe, just maybe, your own personal goldmine. Top 5, we're uncovering the mystery of a coin that's been quietly circulating for years, passed through vending machines, cash registers, and coin jars, without most people ever realizing its hidden secret. That coin is the 2003 Arkansas State Quarter, and what you're about to learn just might send you digging through your pocket change as soon as this video ends. At first glance, it looks like any other quarter from the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program. But what if I told you there's a version of this coin so rare, so unique, that it has collectors offering thousands of dollars just to get their hands on it? Let's talk about the story first. Arkansas became the 25th state honored in the 50 State Quarter series, and its coin was released in 2003. The design on the reverse is a tribute to the state's natural beauty and rich resources. It features a majestic mallard duck in flight, a diamond, and a crystal-clear lake with towering pines in the background. These symbols represent Arkansas's famous wildlife, the crater of Diamond State Park, the only public diamond mine in the world, and the state's lush landscape. But here's where things take a turn. While millions of these coins were minted and released to the public, a tiny number of them were not like the rest. A few Arkansas quarters have been discovered with rare minting errors, and these errors have transformed ordinary coins into priceless collector's items. Now, let's break down what makes a coin like this so valuable. Some of the most sought-after Arkansas quarters have double die errors, where parts of the design appear doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. Imagine seeing the duck's wings or the word Arkansas doubled slightly, a subtle flaw, but a huge red flag for collectors. Other versions have off-center strikes, where the design is pushed to one side, leaving part of the coin blank or uneven. Then there are die cracks, where lines appear across the surface like tiny lightning bolts, unintentional marks made by damaged equipment. These are the kinds of rare mistakes that sneak past even the strict quality control of the U.S. Mint. And here's the exciting part, these errors were never meant to exist. That's what makes them so special. They're like hidden treasures accidentally released into the world, and only a few lucky people ever stumble upon them. Collectors go absolutely wild for coins like this because they combine historical significance, aesthetic appeal, and genuine scarcity. In the world of numismatics, that's the official name for coin collecting. Rarity is everything. And when a rare coin is also tied to a well-known and beloved series like the State Quarters, the demand becomes even higher. But finding one isn't just about luck, it's also about knowing what to look for. Take a close look at the details on your Arkansas quarter. Does the duck look slightly blurred or doubled? Are there unusual lines or marks on the coin? Is the design slightly off-center? These could all be signs that you're holding one of these rare treasures. And here's something else to keep in mind, the condition of the coin makes a big difference. Coins that are uncirculated, meaning they've never been used in everyday transactions, are the most valuable. But even a circulated coin with the right error can be worth far more than face value. So why do collectors place such a high value on these coins? Because they're not just coins, they're time capsules. They tell the story of a mistake that slipped through the cracks, survived years of circulation, and lived long enough to be recognized for its true worth. That's the magic of rare coins. They blend history, art, and the thrill of discovery into one tiny, powerful object. And now, let's answer the question you've been waiting for: how much could one of these rare Arkansas quarters actually be worth? Get ready for this. One rare Arkansas state quarter from 2003, with a unique minting error and in excellent condition, has been valued at as much as $50,000. Yes, you heard that right. $50,000, for a single quarter. So, the next time you check your change or sort through your old coin jar, don't overlook that Arkansas quarter. Give it a closer look, because you just might be holding one of the rarest and most valuable coins of the entire state quarter series. Top 6, we're diving into the fascinating world of a coin that many people have touched without ever realizing its true value, the 2008 Oklahoma state quarter. Now I know what you're thinking, it's just a quarter, right? But what if I told you that inside your change jar, wallet, or even under your car seat, there could be a coin worth more than most people make in a year? That's right, and the Oklahoma quarter might just be one of the most underrated treasures in your entire collection. So stay with me, because this story is going to take you through history, art, hidden errors, and the kind of shocking price tag that makes you rethink every coin you've ever held. Let's rewind to the year 2008. The U.S. Mint was wrapping up its iconic 50 state quarters program, one of the most ambitious and beloved coin series in American history. And then came Oklahoma's turn to shine. Their quarter was designed to honor the state's natural beauty and rich heritage. The result? One of the most visually striking coins in the entire series. The design on the reverse side of the Oklahoma quarter features the scissor-tailed flycatcher, a bird in mid-flight, wings gracefully spread, soaring across a field of wildflowers. It's elegant, dynamic, and beautifully detailed. The scissor-tailed flycatcher, which is Oklahoma's state bird, symbolizes freedom, movement, and resilience, and it truly brought something special to the back of the coin. But while millions of these quarters entered circulation and ended up in people's hands all over the country, not all of them were created equal. And that's where this story gets exciting, because among those millions, there are a few rare Oklahoma quarters that contain minting errors so unique, so rare, that they've become the holy grail for collectors. Now let's talk about the kinds of errors that make this coin so valuable. One of the most sought-after issues is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck twice slightly out of alignment, resulting in a shadowed or doubled effect, often on the text or the image itself. On the Oklahoma quarter, this can show up in the bird's feathers, the floral patterns, or even in the lettering like Oklahoma or 2008. Other known errors include off-center strikes, where part of the design is pushed too far to one side, or clipped planchets, where a small crescent-shaped piece is missing from the coin's edge due to a miscut during minting. There have even been reports of die breaks and cuds, which look like raised blobs or missing sections where the die used to press the design has cracked. Now here's what makes these errors so incredible: they're not just mistakes, they're accidents of history. They weren't supposed to exist. The U.S. Mint has some of the most advanced quality control in the world. So when an error coin like this slips through the system, it's like discovering a ghost in the machine. And the best part? These coins are still out there. Some are hiding in collections, sure, but many may still be resting quietly in circulation, completely unnoticed by the average person. That's why collectors love coins like the 2008 Oklahoma quarter. Because it's not just about the monetary value, it's about the thrill of the hunt. It's about uncovering a forgotten piece of American craftsmanship that tells a bigger story. A quarter like this becomes more than currency, it becomes a piece of art, a mystery, and a trophy all rolled into one. And if you're someone who's passionate about collecting, or just curious about what hidden gems might be in your change jar, this is the kind of coin you need to look out for. Examine every detail, especially the bird, the lettering, and the outer rim. Use a magnifying glass if you have to. Because one small detail could make the difference between an ordinary quarter and a coin that collectors would fight to own. Now the big question, what is one of these rare Oklahoma quarters actually worth? Well, let me give it to you straight. A rare 2008 Oklahoma State quarter with a unique minting error, especially one in near-perfect or uncirculated condition, has sold to collectors for as much as $48,000. Yes. You heard that correctly. $48,000. For one quarter. Before you hand over your change at the gas station or drop a quarter into a vending machine, take one more look. You might just be holding a piece of modern treasure. Top 7 and last rare coin, we're uncovering the incredible story behind one of the most iconic quarters in the United States, the 2001 New York State quarter. You've probably seen this coin countless times. Maybe it's jingled in your pocket or slid across a store counter. But what if I told you that among those millions of New York quarters, there's a version so rare and special it could be worth a small fortune? Stick around, because this is one coin story you don't want to miss. Let's start with the design. Released in 2001 as part of the legendary 50-state quarters program, the New York quarter celebrates the Empire State's history and significance. On its reverse, you see the Statue of Liberty's torch glowing brightly, symbolizing freedom and hope, values that define New York and America itself. The word New York and the year 2001 sit proudly alongside this iconic image. Now, millions of these quarters were minted and circulated, but collectors know that not all coins are created equal. Among those coins lie a handful of rare and valuable errors, the kind that can turn a simple quarter into a prized collector's item. What kind of errors are we talking about? Let me tell you about some of the most fascinating ones. First, there's the double die error, where the design or lettering appears doubled because the coin was struck twice in slightly different positions. On the New York quarter, this doubling can be seen around the words, New York, or on the Statue of Liberty's torch itself. It's a subtle but unmistakable detail that every collector dreams of finding. Then there are off-center strikes, where the coin's design is shifted, so part of the image or lettering is cut off or misaligned. These create visually striking coins that stand out from the usual perfectly centered pieces. Another rare and intriguing error is the missing edge lettering or clipped planchet, where part of the coin's edge is sliced off during the minting process, making the coin look incomplete. These minting mishaps are rare, and because they're unintentional, they make each error coin one of a kind. Now, here's the part every collector loves: rarity. The US Mint has very strict quality control, which means very few error coins ever make it into circulation. The fewer that exist, the higher their value climbs among collectors eager to add such unique pieces to their collections. If you're a coin lover, pay close attention to the condition of the coin, too. Uncirculated or near-perfect coins with these errors can fetch much higher prices than those worn from years of use. So how much could a rare 2001 New York quarter with these unique minting errors actually be worth? Get ready for this. Some of these rare error coins have been valued at up to $58,000, yes, that's right. $58,000 for a single New York State quarter. Next time you hold a New York quarter in your hand, look carefully. That ordinary coin could be an extraordinary treasure. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on amazing coin stories and hidden treasures. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy hunting.